recognizes Mr. Johnson from Wisconsin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Inspector General Roth, in your written testimony, quote, you state that information was accessed by Secret Service employees on approximately 60 occasions between March 25th and April 2nd of this year. And you went on to say, we concluded that a vast majority of those who access this information did so in violation of the Privacy Act of 1974. What are the penalties for violating the Privacy Act of 1974?
There's civil penalties for the agency that's involved if there is a widespread sort of gross negligence standard. So there are civil penalties, that is monetary penalties for the agency involved. For individuals who accessed the system and improperly, knowing that it was protected under the Privacy Act, that's a misdemeanor, which has a fine as a penalty but no custodial sentence. Is there any Department of Justice investigation being undertaken right now to determine whether those misdemeanors were in fact are they going to be prosecuted? No. During the course of our investigation, we presented a case, the most compelling case we had, and it was declined by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Why would that be? There's several reasons. First of all, each individual agent has a Fifth Amendment right to not speak to us if, in fact, he's under criminal jeopardy. So we could not interview individuals, compel their interview, which we ultimately had to do in this case for a lack of voluntary cooperation. So the level of evidence that the Department of Justice had was not sufficient for them to move forward. Additionally, when one looks at the penalty, it was simply a matter of competing resources. Director Clancy, I got involved in looking into the cultural problems with the Secret Service back in early 2012 after the events in Cartagena. This is not why I ran for United States Senate, was to look into the Secret Service. It's an agency that we all want to have a high deal of credibility. And, as you stated in your testimony, the culture in many respects is almost, beyond reproachment. I mean, it's a fabulous agency. They're doing great work. But on the other hand, there's a real cultural problem. What are you going to do about it? I mean, I hear communication. I understand communication, but actions speak far louder than words. And when we're just talking about a disciplinary process, when there are violations of the Privacy Act and there are no prosecutions of it, nobody's held to even the misdemeanor penalties, there's nothing more corrosive in an organization that has a cultural problem when misdeeds go unpunished. So what actions are going to be taken? This is 3 years now. Cartagena occurred in April of 2012. We had 2013 and 2014 and 2015. 3 years later, we have a number of members of the Secret Service violating the Privacy Act, violating DHS and Secret Service procedures. It doesn't seem like we're getting a handle on the cultural problem within the Secret Service.
Yes. Senator, Mr. Chairman, thank you for that question. We have removed people from the Secret Service. You mentioned Cartagena. Several were removed in that case. As of today, we are in the process of proposing a removal for an individual unrelated to this. People are removed in the Secret Service. This table of penalties that we use, and I know we've referred to it a few times here, but we have benchmarked that with other agencies. So we want to be consistent with what's being done across the board. And just recently, I published for the first time to our entire workforce our integrity, the discipline over the past year, so they can see what types of cases are out there. Are supervisors being disciplined equal to the workforce? We're trying to be transparent. Again, that communication is critical here, but we're trying to be more transparent and driving home the point that people will be held accountable. And in this case, they will be held accountable.
As the chairman was pointing out, there are an awful lot of protections for the employees, for the actual agents. But again, it's hard to see the accountability. Do you find that to be a problem? Are you constrained in what actions you would like to take based on all the protections for the agents? I mean, should we be looking at the law there and making sure the agencies have enough power to actually hold people accountable?
Well, I think the accepted service would give us, would allow us to speed up that, the proposals and the discipline process. I know sometimes we are delayed in the process as we move forward.
So you would like some ability to take stronger action quicker?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Good. I think we need to take that into account. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.